I feel like quarantine has really shown you who your true friends really are, mainly because a lot of times, there's people that are MIA during this whole quarantine, and they were the type of people that would be like, oh, I got you. I'm ride or die for you. Then things happen like a pandemic or quarantine happens, and then all of a sudden, where are they to be found?
My mom always said, los amigos son como un peso en el bolsillo. En el momento que tú los gastas, ya no existen. And let me translate that into English. Friends are like a dollar in your pocket. The moment that you spend them, they no longer exist. I've had those kind of friends in my life. And to be honest with you, I am thankful they are gone.
But then we have those friendships that are a little more meaningful to us. For example, I've had this happen to me where I've had a friendship that it was with someone that I've known for years, and we were really close. And then all of a sudden something happens where you guys just kind of fall apart. Women are so involved in their friendships, or so we put our friends first. We sometimes even put our friends first before even our own families, especially when we're younger. It's almost harder to have a friendship breakup than to have a relationship breakup.
I just had one not so long ago. It's going to be a year now. And it kind of sucks because there's a lot of times where I find myself missing my friend a lot. Like, she was my best friend in the entire world. I do have to say that for some time we were growing apart. I have to say, yes, it is harder than a relationship breakup for me because, like, a relationship, I want to say, like, I'll last 2-3 months zoning on it and then I'll let it go. But with a friendship breakup, like, I have found myself kind of like thinking about it very randomly all the time. That quarantine kind of like makes you like think like, damn. And I'm not gonna lie, like, a lot of times where like my friend will come through my head and I'm like, damn, how is she doing? I hope she's okay. I hope everything's okay. Like, I hope she's doing okay. And it's just like that. Sometimes that makes me wonder, like, does she feel the same way about me? In a relationship, you kind of like know that it can go both ways. But in a friendship, like, you kind of hope that it's like that, like, your friend forever kind of thing,
Exactly.
Like,
especially like you're so used to when you're in a relationship, this may not be forever, but my friendship is going to be forever. This is going to last. This is going to be the person that's going to be one of my bridesmaids or even my maid of honor at my wedding.
Or your baby's godmother, just saying.
Exactly.
Throwing it out there.
So when you do have a friendship breakup that's with someone that was so close to you, that you had made future plans with, someone you expected to be there for all your life, most important life moments, and because you guys are no longer friends, they're not in that. So for me, I always think back whenever I have something great happen in my life, or something that I was a goal I achieved. I always think back of, damn, I really thought this person was going to be there in my life for me for this moment.
Some people grow apart and out of each other's lives, unfortunately. Me and my friend at the time, of course, we went through our serious ups and downs. Like, we had been there for each other for some serious life situation. Like, when we first met, we were inseparable. We were like the yin and the yang. We matched 100%. Although sometimes we had opposite opinion, we always matched 100%. I understood her, she understood me. It was a beautiful friendship. But with time and with life, we kind of grew apart. We grew different ways. That's actually one of the breakups in my life that I won't ever forget.
The thing that sucks too, it's like when it comes to family, it's not just you breaking up with that person being your friend, you're also breaking up with the family.
Yeah.
It does happen. Like, when you're at a certain age, you have certain friends during certain times, because in those moments, that's when you are on the same wavelength, on the same level.
Right.
And then, people change and people get older. And that's not necessarily to say it's a bad thing. Some people grow and move on, and other people stay stuck where they are and don't evolve as a person.
Right. And it's okay to evolve separately. It's okay to go separate ways, because not everybody, we're not made to think the same. Everyone has their own opinion. My mom always says, like, everybody, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. And it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. And, as we get older, like, you start to think about it. And I feel like with time, it just gets, I don't know, it gets easier. It gets simpler because you have a lot less friends. Has that happened to you? Where like when you were younger, you had so many friends, and then as you got older, that list kind of shrunk, smaller and smaller every year.
Yeah.
That happened
But
to me.
I feel like for me, I've always had a small circle of friends. I've always had very few friends in my circle. Like I can have friends, acquaintances
Acquaintances,
that
right?
you have, but in my circle of friends who I called my best friends, mine was always very small.
Right,
So
right,
that's why I feel like whenever I did have a friendship breakup, I took it so hard because my circle's already small. If you're in it, it's because I let you in there. I let my walls down. I was vulnerable to let
right,
you were in my circle. So
right,
that's why
right.
I felt like whenever I did have that friendship breakup and I didn't have this person in my life anymore, it affected me so much because this was the one person that I trusted with everything in my life.
I understand when you say that because when I say we've been there through ups and downs, like she was actually one of the only friends that went to go visit me when I was sick. To me, that meant the world. That meant the world because that was a time in my life where that was like where I hit rock bottom. And that was a time in my life where I needed the most support that I could possibly have. And she was one of them that was there. And she kept riding all the way through. That's what hurt me the most on the breakup. The fact that I always thought that no matter what, we could get through anything together. I felt like we could recover from anything. And maybe we can. I mean, who's to say that in with time, like, we start to change, mindsets change, and we just sit there and be like, you know what, whatever we fought about back then was stupid. Let me call her and see how she's doing. Of course, I mean, I've thought about it and the thought has passed my mind 1,000 times. But I have to say that I hold myself back sometimes because I'm afraid. I'm
Mhm.
afraid of her reaction. I'm afraid of what she's going to answer to me. I'm afraid of what she's going to say. I'm afraid of maybe she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. You know what I mean? It is hard because that person kind of sticks with you. You open, like you said, you drop all your walls down and you let that person see the real, real, real you. The person that you don't let a lot of people see. And for you not to be talking to me anymore, it's kind of like almost a piece of me is missing.
I know you said like that you've been thinking about actually reaching out to her. I did, especially during quarantine. I felt like, whatever is happening doesn't matter. This is a time where you need to make sure that all your loved ones are okay. And I was the one that did reach out, but I never got an
A
answer back
response,
or a
right?
response. So there's also that part of it too, that I always feel like if you feel something, if you feel like you need to talk or say something, you should just do it. Like you have nothing to lose. But it's really up to you. If this was someone that was important to you and you just want to say, hey, I just want to check up on you, see if you're okay. Because it's like you said too, our friendship went through something that is honestly unrepairable. And it can be repaired, but it can take years. And it also takes effort from both sides.
Sides, right? Both of you will have to want it, basically. Like, it's not just one person. Just like in
Yeah,
a relationship.
exactly. Yeah. Well, even with my friendship, I feel like I never had closure. Something happened between us that something happened basically. And I always tried to talk to her about it. Like I tried to get to the bottom of it, figure things out. Let's just discuss it. I didn't receive the same type of response from her. You know, it was always kind of something that was swept under the rug, not talked about. Because over time, you're like, okay, I'm wasting my time here wanting to talk about it, wanting to come to a conclusion, and it's not happening.
Both of you have to want to fix it. And it can't just be one sided.